Right.
I follow a person. Her name is Erica Williams. She did a post and said in the Native American community, Native
Mm-hmm.
American who people who claim Native American over the
Mm-hmm.
past several years increased 87%.
Well, you said the people who claim Native American has
They say I'm
increased.
Native American now.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Increased 87%.
Yeah.
Now, why would that demographic increase that much? I know why. I'll give you the
Mm,
answer. Because you are get funds from the government if you
right.
are Native American. If you stay on that plantation or I always call it reservation,
Reservation. Uh-huh.
you get the money directly in your pocket. And
Mm-hmm.
watch this. It's a program now that it's it's a program now. You can look it up. It's a public program. You can look it up so I can talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Native American initiative
Mm-hmm.
with the government. If a company, I don't want to tell all the business, but if a company uses a 51% control Native American company,
Uh-huh.
the US government will incentivize the person by 5%.
So what do you mean when you
So
say?
just say if you did $100 worth of work
Mm-hmm.
for you had a Native American engineering firm doing $100 worth of work for you,
Mm-hmm.
the U.S. government would
You
give
pay
you
five.
$5
Oh, really? Oh,
for
wow.
picking that group. And
Oh,
at the
man.
same time, watch this. Watch the
That's crazy.
hypocrisy. At the same time, they said they can't do reparations because that'd be
Mm-hmm.
discrimination. But they have this law
Right.
on the books that will choose this demographic to give them money.
Right.
And
That's it's just blatant how much they don't care about us or trying to, you know, give us money or help our communities. They're just not gonna do it. Because like you said, they need somebody at the bottom. They need people to lock up. Then why would they ever try to stop that or fix that issue?
all right, watch this. And people may think I'm bullshitting, right? But if you read our thing at the top, close your ears because we speaking facts.
Right.
Native Americans have a long history of patriotically contributing to the U.S. military. Today, Native American, Alaskan, and Hawaiian Native-owned small businesses in the fields of engineering, construction, and IT continue to supply the Department of Defense with dependable, high-quality supplies and services. Despite recent upward trends in economic activity due in part to these small businesses, Native American reservations, Alaska and Hawaiian Native villages still suffer some of the worst poverty in the country. In an effort to boost economic development, Congress has encouraged federal contracting agencies to use more Native American-owned subcontractors, organizations, and businesses. The Department of Defense's Indian Incentive Program, or IIP, is a great example of this encouragement being put to work. IIP is administered by the DoD Office of Small Business Programs and motivates government contractors to use their best efforts to give Native American-owned businesses the greatest opportunity to participate in subcontracts. IIP incentivizes prime contractors by providing them with a 5% rebate on subcontracted work performed by Native American businesses. Eligible prime contractors must first identify a Native American, Alaskan, Hawaiian-owned firm as a subcontractor or supplier in accordance with the appropriate contract clause, while subcontracting firms must submit proof of tribal, Native Alaskan, Hawaiian affiliation to the prime contractor. Prime contractors must submit requests for Indian incentive payments to DoD contracting officers who review and verify all documents. Finally, DoD contracting officers submit rebate request packages to OSD/OSBP for review and approval. If you're interested in participating or learning more about IIP, visit our website. Here you can find out in detail.
All right, Brandon, shut it down. I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna make a statement.
All right, hold on. Let me put us back on here.
They said the American Indians has a high rate of poverty.
Mm-hmm.
They contribute a lot in the military since the founding of this country. And also they have a goal, the US have a goal to economically incentivize that group of segment.
Mm-hmm.
We've been asking for that same thing since 40 Acres and a Mule.
Yeah.
So they can do it, but they just don't want to do it. And my forehead look big.
But do you
They
think
just don't want to do it.
You think it has to do with some of our leaders at the top not really pushing for it? Because I know Jim Clyburn, they are kind of against giving us reparations and stuff like that. And I'm trying to think some other ones. They don't. I think they're just okay with whatever they're getting, but for us as a whole and getting reparations, they're like, no, we're not going to try to push for that.
Jim Clyburn need to take his old ass home. when he pushed to have lift every voice and say, who the fuck? They ain't no damn money. I can say, I can play it on my YouTube.
Right.
If he pushing for that kind of outcome, he need to sit his ass home.
But
he's
I think
too old,
and
he's not aggressive enough, and he buddy would lock him up, Joe.
And I think a lot of those older black men like that, they're okay with the crumbs that you get as progress. Like, I guess that's progress, but we're looking for larger. Yeah, good. And who's the guy who was saying that he passed away? Yeah, okay. But they hold these people up so high, and they speak highly of them, but it's like, what side are y'all on? You can't be playing both sides and trying to help your people. You have to pick a side. And I think sometimes they're working more with our oppressor and doing little small stuff to kind of keep us at bay, but we're still stuck in the situation we're in instead of trying to take control and getting us some real stuff.
You'll notice this, that a lot of you got three branches of the government, but we're gonna talk about the Congress. You got the House and the Senate. It's only one black senator, he's a Cooner motherfucker. It's only one black senator. I think the reason they only got one black senator is because senators have a lot of power. Mm-hmm. The House of Representatives don't. Jim Clyburn is one of 200.
Mm-hmm. Right.
He don't got no power. Mm-hmm. So we need to get more people in a Senate position, because you can see now you have 2 senators blocking Joe Biden's whole plan he wants to do, because you have 2 senators blocking it. That's a lot of power.
Right.
So they go keep Jim Clyburn. They go keep people like Joe Lewis. They go keep AOC, which she's a Latino lady. I don't view her as black. They go keep the black lady with Presley. They go keep these people in the House of Representatives because it's not that much power over there, because you dilute it.
Right. And what is Maxine Waters? I can't remember what she is.
House of Representatives.
She's a House of Representatives too. Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
She's diluted.
It's like they kind of speak, but they're not really doing anything, and they're you playing both sides. You're compromised.
Maxine Waters, she's my girl, but she needs to go too. She's been up there for a long time,
right?
And her state is still doing bad. Black people still ain't moving nowhere. So it's time for a change. It's time for a reload. And this channel, people, y'all will get these facts. So if you don't like them, you could close your ears, because we stating these now. Facts,
right.
Man.
So I'm, like I say, we need to get people in these positions. So how do you start going into these careers where you could be up for a job in the House of Representatives? Or how do you start campaigning so you can be a mayor, or you can be this or that? I know a comedian, I think they were saying comedian Red. I can't remember his name. He's running for something in
DC. Yeah.
In DC. There you go. Yeah. I was like, dang. But we need more of that. We need more people like us, that I don't know any of his politics or his stance, but I feel like he's going to be trying to shake things up or stand up for us and be a voice for us. But we need to
disagree.
Okay, but go ahead. Why do you disagree?
I disagree. Like Michael X said, you don't need no only black people allow entertainers and athletes to
Well,
be
I get
politicians.
you, but
So he's a entertainer athlete. He'll need to be
but
he's
so
not qualified for that position.
just because he was a comedian, he's disqualified in your
He's,
book.
he's not qualified for the position. What
Mm.
black people need to do, it starts at the ground root.
Grassroots.
It starts at your home. We need to come together as community, start
Mm.
building our practice group economics, start
Mm.
trusting each other. Then once you have a system in place, a ground base, then you groom your politicians from the ground up, just like
Mm.
the Jays do, the W's do, and the
Mm.
Browns do. They groom their politicians from the ground up.
Right, and I
So we
think
know.
I think they kind of did with that lady Tamika Mallory, but she's not necessarily doing what we need her to do either. Like I think she was working under Jesse Jackson, and you know how Jesse Jackson is. So,
Tamika Mallory, her baby daddy got killed. That's why she done it, ain't it? Oh,
but
is
I
that
think
the girl?
yeah, that's her, and but she was still working under interning with Jesse Jackson, I think, and some other people like they were grooming her to be something, and that was just kind of part of her story too.
See that may be the problem. Working under
I
Jackson
think it is.
Jackson,
I think it is too.
because Jackson Jackson now is like a celebrity.
Yeah.
He's a celebrity. If you work on somebody and provide the proper toolage, you ain't gonna have none of this popcorn shit. We could talk
Yeah.
about real stuff to get real power to control our lives. Right
Right.
now, our lives is being controlled by somebody who don't like us.
Right.
Well, I don't want to say don't like. They like to be
They
like you, but
dismiss us. Yeah, they dismiss
they
us.
undervalue. Our lives is
Mm.
controlled by people who undervalue us now.
Right.
So it starts at the grassroots. It started at home. No entertainers, no politics. You need people groomed to be in those positions. And
Mm.
if a person gets in that position from our grooming and they don't do what we tell them to do, we get rid of them. When he comes
Mm.
back home, he get his ass whooped, or she get her ass whooped for not doing it.
Right.
That's what you need.
I think sometimes people start off with good intentions, and then you can be bought out and people will sell their soul to be in your pocket. So that's what happens most times, just because they're not strong enough to fight that temptation, and it is there. People are going to give you money so they can control you and have you working both sides like that. I think that's what happens most of the time.
Well, with my policy, you ain't gonna be bought out because we paying for you.
Mm.
And if you choose to go that route, when you come back home, you go get your ass whooped. So
Right. And I think Kamala Harris was saying something recently. She was saying, like, if you don't like what I'm doing in so many words, you get what you paid for. And we didn't really put our money behind her or behind anybody. So like we're just stuck like that. But if we put our money together and put it behind a candidate and hold them to the fire, we say, look, we're putting this money, we're going to help you win, and you're going to be doing these things for us, then we might get somewhere.
speak on Miss Kamala Harris.
Well,
Now I have on this channel, I don't talk about black women, but unless they cooning, but I do not see Miss Harris as a black woman.
yeah, me either.
Per her
Her
words.
words, right? Mm-hmm.
So I could talk about it. Miss Kamala Harris, I'm telling you, you'll get to the top if you can dick ride. You will get to the top.
Right.
So she is a professional dick rider.
Mm-hmm.
She is a lock 'em up Harris. She's like a lock
Right.
'em up Joe.
Right. And I know we said
And she's a
earlier, if you're
chameleon.
right,
She
and I know
needs
we
to
said
be
earlier. Go ahead. Go ahead.
she need to be in X-Men and play that the blue lady. That's what she needs to be
Right. I think I
playing.
was gonna say that.
That's what she need to be.
but we said earlier that Coonan won't get you anywhere. But in some instances, if you
You
go
said that
home,
earlier. You
I
said
know
that earlier.
I did say that
I
earlier.
didn't
I
say
did
that.
say, but in some instances, you will get to the top, and and they do elevate you. So I do take that back. So in some instances, you can be promoted just because of that. You're doing such a good job, and locking. And she did a lot. She locked up a lot of people, put a lot of tough crime bills up. Not crime bills, but just was very very stern, and they like that kind of stuff. And she's not really talking about things for us or trying to benefit us. She says she's not doing anything exclusively for black people. So we should have heard that and went a different route. But it
And
wasn't many.
racism doesn't exist in America. She said that
She
too.
said that too. Well, I mean, there you go.